fluoridated at 0.8 parts per million. That means each litre contains 0.8 milligrams. If you drank 1 litre, you get 0.8 milligrams of fluoride. If you drank 2 litres, you would get 1.6 milligrams. If you drank 3 litres, you would get 2.4 milligrams, and so on. And some people drink a lot of water. People today, working outside on roofs and things, are probably getting through several gallons of water. So not being able to control the dose. Try this with your pharmacist, by the way. Take the videotape and give it to the pharmacist, because they know, if you're a pharmacist, how to control the dose. Secondly, you can't control who gets it. No pharmacist in their right mind would say to the subject, you can take any dose that you want, and you can give it to anybody you want. They know that you've got to have a much smaller dose of aspirin, say, for a child than for an adult. So you've got to know who you're giving it to. Thirdly, they know that ultimately a doctor has written a prescription, and that doctor is taking responsibility that this isn't going to harm the patient, and that doctor is aware that there might be side effects, and that he or she can stop the patient taking it when you get the side. None of that's going on. Nor is any health agency in the fluoridated countries documenting, attempting to document any health effects or how much is accumulating in our bodies. Now, so this is a very unusual way, a very unusual form of medicine. In fact, apart from one short experiment with iodine, which failed, the water supply has never ever been used before to deliver medicine, or nutrients, or vitamins. And there are many things which would be much stronger candidates to put in the water, like vitamin C. It's probably got a huge margin of safety. No, it hasn't. That would be a good thing to put in water. No, we've never done it with anything else. Only the protected pollutant, fluoride. It's unethical. No government has the right to force, and Terry, you said this at the beginning, no government has the right to force medication on its citizens. It's a violation of informed consent to medicine. You're allowing the community to do to everyone what a doctor can do to no one. Doctor cannot tell you to take a glass of water with a drug in it. Can't. He can tell you what's good about it, and he has to tell you what's bad about it, but you have to make the decision whether you're going to drink it. He can't force you to do it. But that's what we're doing. And some people say, oh, we're not forcing you to take it. It's up to you whether you drink the water. No, you don't have to drink the water. But try telling that to a family of low income. They have to drink the water. They can't afford bottled water. They can't afford reverse osmosis, and so on. So we are, certain sections of the population are forced to drink this. It's risky. It's known that fluoride interferes with many fundamental biochemical functions, interferes with enzymes, G proteins, is thought to cause oxidative stress. Is not an essential nutrient. We had 2 people from the Ontario Dental Association last night repeatedly telling the audience that fluoride is a nutrient. Absolute balderdash. To prove that something is a nutrient, what you have to do, if you're a scientist, is to give it to an animal, or sorry, take it away from the animal's diet, take the suspected nutrient, remove it completely from the diet, and then demonstrate a disease. If a disease occurs, then that was an essential nutrient, meaning you can't make it in the body. And they did that with vitamin C. If you deprive an animal of vitamin C, they get scurvy, or human beings get scurvy. The origin of the word limeys, you know, we call the Brits limeys, that's because they had limes. The British sailors were given limes to fight scurvy. Scurvy was a big problem when they took these long journeys. They were away from nutrition which had the vitamin C in it. But they've never done that for fluoride. And so for them to, and also, by the way, many prestigious bodies have declared quite categorically that fluoride is not a nutrient. The level used in fluoridation is not small. As I mentioned, 0.6 to 0.8 parts per million is up to 200 times the level in mother's milk. Last night when we asked about this, essentially what was it, Robert, this is Robert Fleming, who's leading the charge in Waterloo to get out of Waterloo, so you should be forming an axis between Waterloo and Brantford, work together. As one wins, so the other should win, and so on. They essentially tried to persuade us that this was was wrong here, that they were making up for nature's deficiencies, and had a long spiel about how nature failed us in many other ways, that we had to make up for them. Extraordinary, extraordinary. By the way, I mean, it is true that some mothers are not giving their babies enough nutrients, like folic acid, and therefore it's a sensible thing to add folic acid to the diet of the mother. But this is a reflection of a bad diet. It's not a reflection of nature's inability to put the right nutrients into the breast milk. The benefits are topical, not systemic. This is the CDC has conceded this. The Center for Disease Control is the #1 promoter of fluoridation in the United States. It defies common sense to expose the whole body to a substance which works topically. This is what Albert Carlson, he's on the videotape, by the way, that I talked about. He's a neuropharmacologist. He got his Nobel Prize in neuropharmacology, designing drugs for the brain. In pharmacology, if the effect is local, i.e. topical, it's awkward to use it in any other way than as a local topical treatment. I mean, this is obvious. You have the teeth there, they're available for you, why drink this stuff? That's only a Nobel Prize winner. Of course, it pales compared to the wisdom of the Ontario Dental Association. North American kids are getting too much fluoride, not too little. Here's, again, from the Center for Disease Control. I keep using them because they are the promoters of fluoridation. 32% now of all American children, this includes children in non-fluoridated communities, have very mild, moderate, and severe dental fluorosis. And remember, at the beginning, they thought 10% in just the very mild. So part of their program has been a gross failure, that they could reduce tooth decay by only having a few children with the very mild form. Now we have over 30% with not just very mild and moderate. Now, after the National Research Council issued its report in 2006, and I will be talking more about that in a moment, the American Dental Association sent out an EGRAM alert to its memberships, recommending that they tell parents not to use fluoridated water to make up baby formula. The only trouble is they didn't get this news to the public. They didn't put it out in the form of a press release. And to me, it smacks of protecting yourself against liability. They could say that they made this recommendation to dentists, but there are literally millions of people, parents in America and Canada, that have no idea that officially the #2 promoter of fluoridation in the United States, American Dental Association, suggests that parents don't use fluoridated water to make up baby formula. But this now poses a question: how do you educate the community once the water is fluoridated that they shouldn't get bottled, should use bottled water for this purpose? And secondly, how on earth can you finance this? How can you now get bottled water free to all those families of low income that are using formula? And this is another place where fluoridation should have halted. As soon as they said there is one subset of the population that shouldn't get fluoridated water, that should have been the end of fluoridation. But it wasn't, because this, remember, is the protected pollutant and a protected practice. When fluoride is causing dental fluorosis, what's it doing to their bones? The teeth. The same part of the same system as the bones. The teeth grow out of the bone. That's why you get dental fluorosis. The fluoride accumulates in the jaw of the bone. And then when the teeth come out, they're absorbing the fluoride from the bone into the teeth, which then causes this problem. So it's a very rational question. What is it doing to their bones? Well, the first piece of information that we got came in 1956. At the same time as the Brantford study, by the way, the Brantford study, the control city was Sarnia. My God, look at Brantford. and look at Sarnia. And do you think there's a slight socio-economic difference between Brantford and Sarnia?